Hi guys, this is Buska, and welcome to a video to a brand new series that I've been wanting to do for a little while. So this is kind of inspired from Sea of Tranquility. Pete Pardo from Sea of Tranquility. He has a channel called, well, yeah, he has a YouTube channel, but he has a series called Top 10 Songs. By the way, if you haven't checked out Pete Pardo's channel, Sea of Tranquility, if you're into heavy metal, prog rock, and jazz fusion, that's the channel for you. And I really enjoy watching his videos because they're really interesting. I really enjoy watching them. So if you haven't subscribed, please do. Just look up Sea of Tranquility. Maybe I'll have this link in the description or something to the channel. But if you haven't checked his channel out, please do. And this is a series that I've been wanting to do for a while. The reason for that is because I haven't been recording in a while, and also I'm on summer now, so this is usually summer is the perfect time for me to record, even though I can be busy at times. But this is a series that I've been wanting to do, this is going to be the very first video of this series. If you guys would like me to do more of this series, please let me know. I'd like to cover more. And I was thinking, what's a good way to start this series off? And since it was this man's 79th birthday yesterday, yeah, 79, I can't believe it, he doesn't look it. I would like to tackle Paul McCartney's solo career. Paul McCartney, formerly of the Beatles, obviously, and he had a phenomenal, he still has a great solo career, pumping out great albums with great songs. So I was thinking, yeah, let me try Paul McCartney. So this list is actually going to be Paul McCartney and Wings. I think, most of the, I don't know if most of the, I think most of the songs on here are songs from Wings, but there is um, also some solo in general, like without Wings, solo songs in general, some before and after Wings. So this was a pretty difficult list to tackle because, I mean, not only am I a huge Beatles fan because they're my favorite band of all time, but out of the four Beatles, and they all had solo careers, out of the four Beatles, I always thought Paul had the strongest. However, George Harrison's comes a really close second. And I will tell you, this list can change in the future because this list was really difficult to make. And I like a lot of his songs. There's so many albums that I love from him, and there's so many songs that I love from him. And I'm gonna show you some of my favorite songs from him. And if I don't mention one of your favorite songs that I mentioned, I actually have a list of honorable mentions. So yeah, kind of like Pete Pardo's channel. Usually on his top 10 songs, so he lists his top 10, and then he has a list of honorable mentions, which is what I'm going to do. And what I did for honorable mentions is that I picked at least a couple songs from every album, because I will say there's at least one gem on every album, in my opinion, even though there are some albums that are a little bit on the spotty side for me, but there are some great songs. So yeah, let me kick off this list. So this is top 10 songs for Paul McCartney's solo career, or Paul McCartney and Wings. I'm probably going to title the video, top 10 songs Paul McCartney and Wings, or maybe in parentheses solo career or something like that. I don't know. I'll figure that out when I publish the video. So, yeah, here we go. So my top 10. So coming in at number 10, a song from the Venus and Mars album, so in Wings, in the Wings career. And this was difficult. I had to get a Venus and Mars song in here because I loved it, the Venus and Mars album a lot. Obviously, that album followed up Band on the Run, which, for my money, not only is Wings, not for my money, not only the best Wings album, but Paul McCartney's best solo album in general. If you're going to include Wings in his solo career, I think Band on the Run is his greatest album, and it's one of my favorite albums of all time. But we'll talk more on that album later. So from Venus and Mars, there were a couple songs that I really wanted from that album in my top 10, because I love that album a lot. And my number 10 was a big hit for the band, and I think it's still played today. Listen to What the Man Said. A great rocker. I always I always enjoy that. There was a lot of great songs on Venus and Mars. Practically the entire album was great. And there were some songs that I really wanted in my top 10, which I'll talk about later in honorable mentions. But listen to what the man said is just a great rocker, and I love the guitar in the song. I love Paul's vocals. When I think about it, when I think of my favorite vocalists of all time, I have a lot. Paul McCartney is definitely up there because I've always been a huge fan of his voice. Not only in the Beatles but his solo career, and he's a great bassist too. One of the best bass players of all time, I think. And yeah, I love the vocals on the song. The music in the song is great too. So coming in at number 10 for me is "Listen to What the Man Said" from Venus and Mars, and it could rank higher, but I had to have a Venus and Mars song in here. So "Listen to What the Man Said" from Venus and Mars comes in at number 10 for me. Coming in at number 9, this is, I think, out of all the songs, the most recent song on this entire list. This is from one of my personal favorite albums from him. This is easily my favorite album he's released in the 21st century, and one of my favorite albums that he's ever released. I put it up there with some of my favorites, even some of the 70s stuff. From the Chaos and Creation in the Backyard album, which is a favorite album of mine. And I've always loved this song, and this is a really great way to open the album. The song is called "Fine Line" from the Chaos and Creation in the Backyard album. I think I think the album came out 2005, I think it was. So this was, around the time where, in the years to come, streaming services would be available, and, not a lot of people buying records lately. I think this album went gold, if I can remember. But "Fine Line" is just a great song. I love it a lot. Uh, and I love the whole album too. I love the whole Chaos and Creation in the Backyard. One of my favorite albums from him. But I love "Fine Line." I love the lyrics. I love Paul's vocals. I love the band in the background. I think this is around the time where he had Abe Laboriel Jr. as his drummer, who's a great drummer, by the way. And Paul's band has been shown in concert videos in the past decade because they are a really great band. I think he has a really great band. And this is around the time where he picked up the new guys. But "Fine Line" is such a great song. I love the riff in the beginning. I love Paul's vocals. The lyrics are great. The drumming is great. Everything about it is great, and the bass is great too. So coming in at number 9 for me is "Fine Line" off of the Chaos and Creation in the Backyard album. Coming in at number 8, from the Tug of War album, another big album from him, and another one of my favorite albums from him. I love this album a lot. And this is a song that we all need to listen to today, I find. And this is a pretty big song I think this song, if I can remember, I think this song went number 1 right around the time it was released. And this is a big song. And I'm talking about the closer track, "Ebony and Ivory." This is a song about racial equality, and it's a song we really need to listen to today. I think we are all the same, no matter what our skin color is, and a perfect duet between Paul McCartney and Stevie Wonder. I think that was a great choice having Stevie Wonder. I think Paul said I wanted to have a black guy sing on because of Ebony and Ivory. He said I wanted to have a black guy sing on a song, and he said the first one that came to mind was Stevie Wonder. And Stevie Wonder is not only a great vocalist, great keyboardist, he's a great musician nonetheless. And yeah, this song really really represents racial equality and represents how we're all the same, no matter what our skin color is. And he uses the piano metaphor, the piano, the white and black keys, as a metaphor for that. And I think that's a great song. I love the harmonies of Paul and Stevie. I think that works well. I think that just a perfect duet between each other. So coming in at number 8 for me is "Ebony and Ivory" from the Tug of War album. If you're wondering why I'm looking down, I'm looking at my list because I have my list on my phone. Coming in at number 7 so we're going back to Wings, from the "Wings at the Speed of Sound" album, which is a really good album. Probably, I prefer "Band on the Run" and "Venus and Mars," and probably, "Back to the Egg" and maybe a couple others. But I think "Wings at the Speed of Sound" is a strong album. This has always been a favorite song of mine. It's the opener track, "Let Him In." I love the music arrangements behind it. I love the horns. Yeah, I do love the horns. I love the wind instruments. I love Paul's vocals. The lyrics are great. "Somebody's knocking at the door. Somebody's ringing the bell. Do me a favor, open the door and let him in." and a great way to open the album. This is the album where Paul wanted to have have their own song, sing. I don't know if it was on every track because Paul has a good amount of songs on the album. Let Him In included. I love his vocals on here, and I think it's just a perfect way to open the album. And I like the doorbell sound in the beginning because somebody's not gonna what I mentioned before for the opening lyrics. But I love the vocals. The backing vocals are great too, and I just love the song. It's always been a favorite of mine growing up. So coming in at number 7 for me is "Let Him In" from Wings at the Speed of Sound. Coming in at number 6 from his one of his earlier albums. This is from the Ram album, which is another favorite album of mine. I'd probably say that's in the top 2 or 3 greatest McCartney albums in my opinion. And this has always been a favorite of mine. Uncle Albert Admiral Halsey, kind of a quirky song, but it's just amazing. I love it. It's always been a favorite of mine. And, late in the past years, it probably would have ranked higher. But there are some other songs that I think I've liked a little bit more as time has gone on. And, these things happen. And this is just a great song. It's always been a favorite of mine. Uncle Albert, Admiral Halsey. I love Paul's vocals, and I love Linda's backing vocals too. I know Linda McCartney has gotten flack for her backing vocals, but I always enjoyed them. I always kind of like, in most cases, I like her backing vocals on this, and there's some Wing songs that she has a great backing vocal on, and she has great backing vocals on the entire album, I think. Coming in at number 6, Uncle Albert, Admiral Halsey. I like the part where they go into the Admiral Halsey, but Uncle Albert's kind of a nice head swing mellow song, and then you get into Admiral Halsey, which is kind of a quirky song, and I love the vocals between Paul and Linda, and I love the lyrics are great too, and I love the tempo change too, for that matter. So coming in at number 6 for me is Uncle Albert Admiral Halsey from Ram. Coming in at number 5 from the Wings at the Speed of Sound album, going back there once again. This is a song I've always loved, but it's grown on me ever since, and I still love listening to it to this day. And it's just one of the, when you think of the 70s, 70s pop songs, this is easily one of the best silly love songs from Wings at the Speed of Sound. Just there's something about the song that's been a favorite of mine. I love the bass in the song. Paul McCartney. I think people don't really, people think of Paul McCartney as a great singer and a great, former, great band member of the Beatles. But I think his bass playing is really, really spectacular. I've always loved it, and the bass, especially in this song, is great too. And I love the vocals between Paul and Linda and Denny Lane. There's just great vocals in this song, and I love the horns in the song. They just make it so happy. I love the horn. Just great stuff. I love it a lot. Yeah, that comes in number 5. So coming in at number 5, Silly Love Songs off of Wings at the Speed of Sound. Coming in at number 4 from the Band on the Run album, which is my favorite Paul McCartney solo album. I love the I love the entire album. It's one of my favorite albums of all time. I think when I did my top 100 favorite albums of all time at the end of 2020, this wasn't in the top 10, but it was in the top 15. And I'm telling you, as years go by, it's inching up there because I'm a huge Band on the Run fan. And number 4, this song could rank higher. I've always loved it. Number 4 is Jet. I just love the riff in the beginning. The da, 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 da. I love the riff in the beginning. I love the vocals. I love the backing vocals. The lyrics are great. And there are times where this is ranked higher. But the purposes of this, you had to rank the songs, and it was pretty difficult. So coming in at number 4 for me is and just talk about a great rock song. It's just so good, just so good. And number 3, my number 3 and number 4 are kind of similar. They're both not separated. It's just splitting hairs. Okay, so it was just difficult. And coming in at number 3 is the title track to Band on the Run. I mean, that is just when you think of great album openers, that's definitely one of them. And Band on the Run is just a great example of great lyrics, great instrumentation. I love the guitar riff in the beginning. Just the down 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 down. I have Band on the Run on vinyl. I was listening to it the other day. Just incredible. I love the guitar riff in the beginning. I love the synths, and I love the vocals of Paul and the backing vocals from the rest of the crew and Wings. And I just love everything about the song. I love how it's kind of three parts of the song. You get that intro, and then you get that little middle section, which is really brief. Um, and you get that little section, and it's basically talking about people escaping from a jail. Even on the album cover, it looks that way. You have Paul and Linda and Denny on the album cover, and you have celebrities on the album cover. Even Christopher Lee, the guy who played Count Dooku in Saruman, is on that album cover. Look, check it out if you haven't. But yeah, Band on the Run, and the rest of the song is just classic. I love the lyrics. Like I mentioned, I love Paul's vocals. It's just perfect. I just love everything about it. So coming in number 3 for me is the title track to Band on the Run. All right, so the top two have been the top two for a long time. Number 2, I'm going to go to the Ram album, one of my favorite albums from them. And this is a song I've always loved, and it has grown on me ever since. And it is not a happy song at all. It is an angry song. But my number 2 is Too Many People from Ram, the song that kicks it off. What a rage-filled song. This is a song, this is around the time of the breakup of the Beatles, or a couple of years after. And especially John and Paul, they were writing songs at each other. And so Paul wrote Too Many People, saying how this was all you did a lot of stuff that ruined the Beatles, and stuff like that. And then of course John would write How Do You Sleep on the Imagine album. And I think during the White Album sessions, I think it was, George Harrison on his All Things Must Pass album wrote Wah Wah for Paul McCartney, because he says, "You're giving me a wah wah, you're giving me a headache." But anyway, that's a story for another day. Maybe I can do top 10 songs for George or John. But Too Many People is just a rage filled song. I love Paul's vocals. I love the backing vocals of Linda, and you would never think you would hear lyrics coming from Paul, writing lyrics attacking John. And they were best friends, especially, and throughout the '70s, I think they patched things up, before John passed away. But in the throughout the Beatles, they were getting along. They were best friends, the entire band. And I think Ringo says he wasn't really writing songs at anyone. He's like, I just want to get along with everyone. But Too Many People is just a really great song. Whether it's about lyric wise, it's pretty, what's the word I'm looking for? It's pretty, I don't know, frightening, I guess. I don't know. But, this was a time where they were really angry at each other. Let me just put it that way. So coming in at number 2 is Too Many People. There were times where maybe it would be number 1, but my number 1 has been my number 1 for a long time, and the video's going long, so I should speed this up. This is a song I've always loved. It's one of my favorite songs of all time by anyone. This is a song, and I'm going to go back to his very first album, his self-titled debut, McCartney. And I know a good majority of the Paul McCartney fan base would say this is his greatest song. And this is a song that I love his lyrics in the song. I love the vocals. I love the piano in the song. I love the drums, and he was playing this is an album where he was playing all the instruments, kind of like on McCartney 2 and McCartney 3. McCartney 3 just recently released, because that's a trilogy of albums that he recorded all the instruments on. But number 1, I think most people know what I'm talking about. Maybe I'm Amazed, from the first album. Just, what can I say that hasn't been said? I mean, it's iconic. It's just perfect. I don't know which one I like more, the one on studio version McCartney, or the one on the Wings Over America live album, which is incredible. And the Wings Over America live album is one of my favorite live albums of all time. But yeah, maybe I'm Amazed is my favorite McCartney song of all time. And like I mentioned before, one of my favorite songs of all time. I just love it. And it comes in number 1 for me. So I'm going to show you my list like I normally do. Sorry about my thumbprints. Hopefully you can see that. I didn't put uh, the album names right next to them because I remember where they're from. I'm not going to show you the list of honorable mentions, so you're going to have to listen really close. And I know that my mic, I guess my computer has a interesting mic where if I talk quietly, the sound cuts out. So I'll try to speak loud. And I tried my best not to include every song from every album because that would make the video even longer. So I'll try to go quick. And as a fan of Paul McCartney's solo career, I tend to go on a little bit long, but I'll try to go by fast. So honorable mentions, I'm going to go through every album. So that's my top 10. So here's my honorable mentions. So from his self-titled debut album, McCartney, that would be something. That's a great song. Valentine Day, Every Night. That's a great song. That was in my top 10. Got booted out. Junk, I think, was a pretty popular song for him at the time. That was a pretty good song. I like that a lot. Man, We Was Lonely. Another great song. Ooh You. Ooh You's a pretty good rocker. Here's one that I have always really liked, but I've grown to love it as time's gone on. It's a great instrumental. Mama Miss America. Mama Miss America is really great. I always enjoyed that. Teddy Boy's great, and even though it gets flack, I've always kind of had a soft spot for the final track, the closer to the album, which is a weird. I don't know. I wouldn't necessarily call it a drum solo. It's more percussion oriented. Cream Crory. It's so weird, but I always kind of enjoyed it at the same time. So that's from McCartney. So from Ram, you can list everything. Three Legs. I really want Three Legs in there. I like that a lot. Ram on. Dear Boy is a great song. Smile Away is a great rocker, and those really good live. I think. Heart of the Country. Monkberry Moon Delight's really good too. Eat at Home, another great. I think they performed Smile Away and Eat at Home. Wings. I think they performed. Oh, excuse me. I think they played Smile Away and Eat at Home together, if I can remember. Long Haired Lady is a good tune. Also, Long Haired Lady for me kind of gets repetitive at the end, but nonetheless a good song. Ram on Reprise, and if this song was in my top 10, and even though it didn't make my top 10, it may be my number 11. Backseat of My Car. I get chills listening to that. It is just a beautiful song. I love everything about it. Um, and backseat of my car, like I said, maybe my number 11 favorite McCartney song. If you were to do top 20, that would easily be on this list. So yeah, backseat of my car, great. I love the whole Ram album. Okay, so we're getting into the Wings discography. So from Wildlife, not my favorite Wings album. It's probably my least favorite. Not in my opinion, the album's okay. It's never been a favorite of mine, but there are a couple tracks I do like Mumbo. That's a good song. Wildlife, the title track. Tomorrow is a great song, probably my favorite on this album. And Dear Friend is a great song, fan favorite for most. From Red Rose Speedway, that's a tongue twister. Red Rose Speedway. This is where I think things start to get really strong. And I have Red Rose Speedway and his self-titled debut on CD. So from Red Rose Speedway, Big Barn Bed. That's kind of a silly song, but I like it at the same time. I always dug that. The beautiful, gorgeous My Love, which is one of the this is the big hit off of the album, which Wildlife didn't really have any hits. So it was kind of difficult for Wildlife to get certified. I don't know if it was certified, unless if it was certified, it was probably gold. Here in America at least. But yeah, My Love is such a gorgeous song. I love that a lot. Get on the Right Thing. That's a great rocker. I enjoy that. Little Lamb Dragonfly. That's a really good song. How about the instrumental Loop First Indian on the Moon? That's an interesting song. That's a cool instrumental. I like the guitars in there. And I love the medley at the end. So Hold Me Tight, Lazy Dynamite, Hands of Love, and Power Cut. I think they were trying to do an Abbey Road medley, although in my opinion, nothing's as good as the Abbey Road medley, but the medley on here is great. From Band on the Run, again, you can list everything. Bluebird, even the silly stuff on Band on the Run, I really like a lot. Bluebird is great. Mrs. Vanderbilt, again, silly, but I love it at the same time. Let Me Roll It. Let Me Roll It is a great song. I also really enjoy the Wings Over America live version. Mamunia is great. No Words. Picasso's Last Words, Drink to Me, another silly song, but I enjoy that. And another song that was in my top 10 that right next to Backseat of My Car could be my number 11 or 12, 1985. Just a really cool, at the time, experimental song, and yeah, the entire album is just great, and it ends the album well too. But the entire album is great. This is, I think, recorded in Nigeria. I think Paul and Linda were mugged or something like that during the recording of this song of this time. But yeah, Band on the Run, one of my favorite albums of all time. I love it a lot. From Venus and Mars slash Rock Show. I include them together. Venus and Mars and Rock Show are a great way to open that entire album, and I really want that in my top 10. Loving Song is great. I always enjoyed You Gave Me the Answer. That's such a great song. Magneto and Titanium Man, another song that was in my top 10 and got booted out. I love the keyboard in the beginning. I love everything about the song, and it's a good song about the two comic book villains. Letting Go. I include these two together. Venus and Mars Reprise slash Spirits of Ancient Egypt. Great Denny Lane vocal on that. And by the way, I should have talked more about Letting Go. Letting Go is a great song. But yeah, Venus and Mars Reprise slash Spirits of Ancient Egypt. They both go into each other. That's great. Medicine Jar is great too. That's a great Jimmy McCullough song. Uh, Call Me Back Again is a great song. Treat Her Gently, Lonely Old People is a great song too. That's I love the lyrics. I love the music to that song. That's great. And the Crossroads theme to close it off is great. Great guitar song. From Wings at the Speed of Sound, again, another really good album, although I prefer some of the albums that came before it, and I think at least one after. But it's still a good album nonetheless. The Note You Never Wrote, that's a good Denny Lane song. I like that a lot. She's My Baby. Beware My Love is great. I love that a lot. Wino Junko, another Jimmy McCullough song, another great song. And Time to Hide is great. I included one. This is a last minute thing. I included one song from Wings Over America. One, because it's one of my favorite live albums of all time, and this is such a great song that was also in my top 10 and got booted out. The closer track, Soily. A song that wasn't on any studio album, but they kind of played it live. And yeah, just a great song. I love it a lot. The lyrics are bizarre. Soily, soily, the cat in satin trousers said it soily. Doesn't really make any sense, but it's great nonetheless. And Wings Over America, great live album. So I wanted to mention Soily because I like that song a lot. Very hard rock song. I like that a lot. Whoops, hold on. All right, there we go. Something, and there's loud noise outside. Anyway, from London Town. Sorry, getting carried away. There's outside noise going on, but I digress from that, and let me get back to the list. So from London Town. London Town's another really good album, but again, compared to the Wings albums that came before it, maybe not as strong, but still really good. I love the title track, London Town. That's great. Cafe on the Left Bank's another favorite of mine. I'm Carrying, that's another pretty big song from him. I've Had Enough, that's another great song. I like the lyrics in that. Okay, another song that was in my top 10, along with Backseat of My Car, along with 1985. This is a song that pained me to leave out of my top 10, and I just loved it a lot, with a little luck. One of that was another big hit for the band, but I love just another like silly love songs, another perfect pop song. I love it a lot. And that's a song that I really want in my top 10. And I also put the closer on here because it's really interesting, called More Moose and the Grey Goose. I've always kind of compared that to 1985, like very similar. They both closed their album, and they're both kind of experimental songs too. Okay, so this is around the time where the Wings' Greatest album came out. The Wings' Greatest, where I think they went somewhere really cold to shoot the album cover, where that giant mannequin is holding their arms up, and yeah, that's I have that album on vinyl, and I'm going to throw a couple singles and B-sides here too. So and this is from Wings' Greatest. So Another Day. That's more of a Paul and Linda song, but that's a popular song, great song nonetheless. Live and Let Die, the song to the movie, is great, and maybe I'll do the ranked James Bond films one day, maybe by actor or something. They had a lot of actors, but Live and Let Die, easily my favorite Roger Moore film. But anyway, we're getting carried away. The title track to the movie is great. I love that. Live and Let Die is great. Junior's Farm is another great song. I love that a lot. Another one I wanted in my top 10 but got booted out was High, High, High. I love that a lot. And I'm going to throw in the one that was one of their biggest songs, and it was on the Wings' greatest album, which was enormous in Europe, but barely did anything here. Mull of Kintyre, hands down, one of the best rock songs with bagpipes. Because there's not a lot that I can think of. Well, that and It's a Long Way to the Top If You Want to Rock and Roll by AC/DC. Those two are the greatest rock songs with bagpipes. Although Mull of Kintyre is more of a mellow song. But Mull of Kintyre is great. I love that a lot. Helen Wheels. I love Helen Wheels. Although that was on the US version of Band on the Run, which not on my vinyl. I have the UK vinyl. Although that was on the US edition, US pressing of the vinyl. But I love Helen Wheels. Sea Moon, that's another great song. Daytime, Nighttime, Suffering. So this is getting into the Back to the Egg era. Daytime, Nighttime, Suffering is great. And Good Night Tonight, that's another good song. Okay, so from Back to the Egg, I really like Back to the Egg. This is the final Wings album. I know the video is a little long. I'll try to wrap it up soon. So from Back to the Egg, Getting Closer is a great song. Spin It On, I love that a lot. Spin It On is a great fast rocker. Again and again and again, a great Denny Lane vocal. Two songs that were in my top 10 and got booted out. Old Siamser being one of them, which is a great rocker, and Arrow Through Me. I have no idea why those two weren't huge, because this album, I don't think this album sold a lot, which is unfortunate because I really like this album a lot, and I think that this album is really great. So Arrow Through Me, should have been a big hit for the band. I don't know why it wasn't, but unfortunately these things happen. But Old Siamser and Arrow Through Me were in my top 10, but got booted out. Rockestra Theme, that's great. To You, After the Ball / Million Miles, Winter Rose / Love Awake, those are good stuff. So glad to see you here. This is with the whole Rockestra orchestra lineup. Who do you got? You got John Bonham, John Paul Jones from Led Zeppelin, Pete Townsend, and Kenny Jones, because at the time in The Who, because I think Keith Moon died at this time, around this time, and David Gilmour from Pink Floyd too. A lot of great musicians that showed up on that Rockestra orchestra, and So Glad to See You Here is great. From Baby's Requested Closer track to Back to the Egg is another good song. Okay, so Wings breaks up and Paul McCartney does his solo career from that point to now, because he's made a lot of albums around that time. From McCartney 2, Coming Up, that's a great song. Temporary Secretary, One of These Days, and The Beautiful One of These Days, another great song. Not to be confused with the Pink Floyd song, One of These Days, very different. And I include the bonus track, Wonderful Christmas Time. That's a popular song. It's a great song. I listen to that every time the holidays come around. Great stuff. I love that. From Tug of War, another favorite album of mine. I love the title track, Take It Away, Here Today, Ballroom Dancing, Wanderlust. There's a lot of great songs from Tug of War. I love that a lot. This is where it kind of starts to get a little downhill for me, because in my opinion, the 80s songs, not as strong as the stuff that came before it, and even after it. But Pipes of Peace is a good album. I enjoyed Pipes of Peace. The title track to Pipes of Peace is great. Say, Say, Say is a classic. That, of course, that was a duet between Paul McCartney and Michael Jackson, because I don't know if Thriller, the Thriller album, I don't know if that came out. It came out in the 80s. I don't know if it came out around this time, because Paul McCartney shows up on the Girl Is Mine from the Thriller album. But I don't know. But Say, Say, Say is a great song. So Bad. The Man, that's the other Michael Jackson song. That's also a really good song. And Average Person's great too. From Give My Regards to Broad Street, this is where it gets a little downhill for me. Not one of my favorite albums from him. I think that's one of his weaker albums. But another song that I love that I really wanted in my top 10 is No More Lonely Nights. I'm talking about the ballad, the one that was pretty famous. I love Paul's vocals on that song. I love the lyrics. And David Gilmour was on that song from Pink Floyd. He was on that song too. But yeah, that album in general, it's I heard the movie I never saw the movie. It's probably dumb, but well, it's not critically received anyway. But Give My Regards to Broad Street, the album, not really one of my favorites. And it's the same thing with the next album, Press to Play. Not really one of my favorites, but there's a couple good songs. Stranglehold's good, not to be confused with the Ted Nugent song. Again, very different. Only Love Remains and Press. Press probably my favorite song off the album. And I have no idea how you pronounce Chova BCCCP. This was his covers album with the Russian title, and probably my least favorite Paul McCartney album. He did quite a few covers albums, but this one not really the strongest in my opinion. But I do like Kansas City and 20 Flight Rock. Those are good songs. Okay, this is where he gets back on track for me. From Flowers in the Dirt. This is a really good album. My Brave Face is a classic. I love that a lot. Rough Ride, another great song. Put It There. Figure of Eight, this one, and Motor of Love. I really like the Flowers in the Dirt. And same thing with this next album, Off the Ground, which I think is as good. I always kind of compare those two together. So from Off the Ground, the title track's great. Hope of Deliverance, Biker Like an Icon. That was I don't know if that was a big hit for him. Peace in the Neighborhood, Get Out of My Way. Wine Dark Open Sea, and how about I love the closer, Come On People, and that has a hidden track called Cosmically Conscious, which is tacked on after the song ends. But yeah, I like the Off the Ground album. From I felt bad not including anything from Flaming Pie, because Flaming Pie is another one of my favorite albums from him, and this was the last album that he released when Linda, his wife Linda, was alive, because I think a year later she passed away from cancer. Unfortunately, but Flaming Pie is a great song. The song we were singing is a great song. The World Tonight, If You Wanna, Some Days, Young Boy, the beautiful Calico Skies. I really wanted that in my top 10. I love that. Flaming Pie, the title track's a great rocker. Heaven on a Sunday, Used to Be Bad, Souvenir, Little Willow, Really Love You, Beautiful Night, and Great Day. I include the entire album because I love it a lot. That's a great album. One of my favorites from Run Devil Run, another covers album, but I think this is a stronger covers album than the other one that he released, the Toba BCCCP album, but All Shook Up is a great song. Run Devil Run, the title track's great. I like that a lot. No Other Baby, Lonesome Town, and Party, good stuff. From Driving Rain, not really a successful album for him, but I always enjoyed it. Lonely Road, great. Yeah, I think that's a song about him coping the loss of Linda after her passing. From a Lover to a Friend is another good song. Driving Rain, the title track. Tiny Bubble, About You is another good song. Heather, Heather, that was about his second wife, Heather Mills, which he was with for a couple of years. They're not together anymore, obviously, but Rinse the Raindrops is another good song, and Freedom. Freedom was a song about 9/11, if I can remember, because this was right around the time after 9/11 happened, with the terrorist attacks from the World Trade Center, which was really unfortunate at the time and still is, obviously. Okay, so from Chaos and Creation in the Backyard, one of my favorite albums from him. I love that album a lot. How Kind of You. Jenny Wren, I love. That was almost in my top 10. Epimercy, Friends to Go, English Tea, Too Much Rain, Certain Softness. Writing the Vanity Fair, I like that a lot. Writing the Vanity Fair could have been in my top 10. Follow Me, Promise to You, Girl, and another one that's really high up there with some of my favorites, This Never Happened Before, a great song. And I love the closer anyway, which also has another hidden track called I've Only Got Two Hands, which is really great. I love the whole Chaos and Creation in the Backyard album's great. From Memory Almost Full, another great album, another underrated album. Dance Tonight's great. Ever Present Past is great. That might be my favorite on the album. I like that. See Your Sunshine, Gratitude, Vintage Clothes. House of Wax actually might be my favorite. I don't know. They're both great. House of Wax is great, and The End of the End is great too. From Kisses on the Bottom, another covers album. Again, not really my favorite, but there are some good stuff. We Three, My Echo, My Shadow, and Me. That's good. Let me try that again. Accentuate the Positive. That's another good song. And My Valentine was a song he wrote. I think that was a song that he wrote for his current wife, Nancy, if I can remember. But yeah, My Valentine, a great song. From New, the album that was released 2013, I think. Hard to believe that the album New for me is a great album with a lot of great stuff. That's a great album. Save Us is great. Alligator, Queenie Eye, the title track New is awesome. I love that. And how about the closer track, Road? Road is such an underrated song with also another hidden track tacked on there called Scared. He liked to do a lot of hidden tracks. I wonder if he still does that. But yeah, New is a great song. Well, yeah, New is a great song, but the album in general I love a lot. And from Egypt Station, which I think is one of his best albums of the 21st century. One of the best albums of the year. One of my favorite albums of the decade. I listened to that thing when it came out. I still listen to it today. I love it a lot. But I Don't Know is a great song. Come On to Me. Come On to Me probably would have made my top 10. I love that. Happy With You. Who Cares? Fuh You. No, I'm not swearing. That's the name of it. Fuhu. That's what it's titled. But that's a great song. Back in Brazil's a favorite of mine. Do It Now. Caesar Rock, despite repeated warnings, is great. And I don't know if it's a medley at the end, but Hunt You Down /Naked/Seedling, which is great. I enjoy that. And from his latest album, McCartney 3, which is great, which I also enjoy a lot too. Long-Tailed Winterbird is great. Find My Way, Lavatory Lil, or as what he says in the song, Lavatory Lil. I like that song. That's cool. Slidin', that's a really good song. The Kiss of Venus. That's a fan favorite. I realize. I know he did this. Oh, I got a notification. Hold on. Yeah, there we go. I wonder how loud that was on your end, but yeah, "The Kiss of Venus" is a popular song. I know he did this McCartney 3 Imagined, which he had a lot of artists sing on his album, although different because there's modern day singers. I think Phoebe Bridgers was on there, if I can remember. But "The Kiss of Venus," I forgot who did the "Kiss of Venus" cover. Or not cover, but did the "Kiss of Venus" reimagined, I guess you'd call it. But yeah, "The Kiss of Venus" is a great song. "Seize the Day," "Deep Down," and "Winter Bird" /When Winter Comes. So yeah, a lot of great stuff. That's my lengthy list of honorable mentions. I want to look at my top 10 and see how many was Wings and how many was Solo Career. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 and 5, that half and half. I didn't expect that. So it shows you how much I love his solo career. So here's my list once again. If you forgot, again, I'm not going to include. I'm not going to show you honorable mentions because that would take a while. So hopefully you were listening. But yeah, that was Paul McCartney and Wings top 10 songs. Because Paul McCartney's birthday was yesterday, his 79th. I can't believe he's going to be 80 next year. That's going to be insane. I hope he does. I wonder if he's going to do this big stream because I know Ringo did that last year for his 80th birthday during quarantine, but during lockdown. But yeah, that was top 10 songs for Paul McCartney and Wings. What are your favorites? Let me know in the comments below. If you want me to do more of this, let me know because this is just a start. I don't know if I'll do more because I'd like to do more. Maybe I'll do one for the Beatles because I did one for Paul McCartney and Wings before the Beatles, which is kind of odd, but you know, because I'm a bigger Beatles fan. Obviously, they're my favorite band of all time. But yeah, let me know what you want me to cover in the near future for top 10 songs if you would like me to. So this is a long video. I'm gonna end this now. So stay safe. So please leave a like, comment if you want, view my videos, and of course subscribe and ring the bell. Thanks for watching this video, guys. This has been Halbuska, signing off. Stay safe, take care.